Hello and welcome to episode 158 of Glitch Report. My name is GnittWitt. Thank you so much for stopping by, saying hi, kicking it with me today on the stream of dreams, the show of shows, and everything in between. You can find everything that I do over at my Linktree, linktree.com/GnittWitt, GnittWitt. I am on YouTube, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Blue Sky, and this podcast is available wherever you get your podcasts. I'm assuming you found this podcast if you were at the part in the show where I say that this podcast is available wherever you get your podcasts. But if you were like, I don't know how I got here, this podcast is available on YouTube. It is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you've subscribed to the CD magazine that I have, those are monthly, so you will receive an email, or you will receive in the mail, in the regular mail, compact discs with every episode of the podcast mailed directly to your door in the convenient format of having a disc mailed to you every month. That's stupid. Why would I say that? It has been a crazy, just an absolute nuts week. Before we get to news, I got to say this right here, right now, that I lost access to my YouTube channel. That's it. They shut me down. The feds, the damn government. I thought it was free speech, man. If you were hanging out, watching videos or doing whatever you might have been doing on, what day was it? I need to actually get my story straight here because it was a crazy fucking week and I forgot everything about what happened. What day was that happened? Let me get my story straight here. I should have done this before. Friday evening, I'm sitting down, I'm playing Donkey Kong Bonanza. I really wanted to finish up Donkey Kong Bonanza. And I got an email from YouTube at 8:25 saying, hi GnittWitt, we have removed your content and found severe or repeated violations of spam, deceptive practices, and scams policy. So that I violated the spam, deceptive practices, and scam policy. They said, because of this, we have removed your channel from YouTube. We know this is probably very upsetting news, but it's our job to make sure that YouTube is a safe place for all. If we think a channel severely violates our policies, we take it down to protect our users on the platform. But if you believe we've made the wrong call, you can appeal this decision. You'll find more information about the policy in question and how to submit an appeal below. Now you might be wondering what our policy says, and their policy says content that promotes spam, scams, or other deceptive practices isn't allowed on YouTube. Now, I just want to say for the record, this is not going to be me commenting on YouTube's policies. This is not me criticizing YouTube's policies whatsoever. They say that YouTube doesn't allow spam, scams, or other deceptive practices that take advantage of the YouTube community. We also don't allow content where the main purpose is to trick others into leaving YouTube for another site. That is their policy. That is fine. That I'm not here to do a breakdown of any of that stuff, right? They talk about how video spam is content that excessively is posted, repeated, or untargeted, and does one or more of the following things. Promises viewers will see something, but instead directs them off-site. Gets clicks, views, or traffic off YouTube by promising viewers that they'll make money fast. Sends audiences to sites that spread harmful software, try to gather personal info, or other sites that have negative impact. Another thing that policy means is misleading metadata or thumbnails, using the title, thumbnails, or description to trick users into believing the content is something it's not. This includes titles, thumbnails, or descriptions, leading viewers to believe they'll see something in a video, but then not including it in the video content itself. Scams, content offering cash gifts, get rich quick schemes, or pyramid schemes, which is sending money without a tangible product and a pyramid structure. That is part of that policy. Incentivization spam. This is content that sells engagement metrics such as views, likes, community, or any other metric on YouTube. This type of spam can also include content where the only purpose is to boost subscribers or other metrics. For example, offering to subscribe to another creator's channel solely in exchange for them subscribing to your channel, also known as sub for sub content. Comment spam. Comments for the sole purpose is to gather personal info from the viewers, misleadingly driving viewers off of YouTube or perform any other prohibited behaviors noted above. It goes on and on and on. I believe in my heart of hearts that I do not create that type of content on YouTube. I don't think that my content represents any of the violations that were put in that description on YouTube. This is what I believe. So when I received that email at about 8:25 on Friday night, I decided to send an appeal. And the way the appeal works is you basically fill out a form explaining why you don't think your channel is, your channel is the way that they describe it as, in the decision to remove it. Now, I should say for the record, I received no warning. It's not like I received an email, an hour before, a day before, a week before, whatever, saying, hey, smarten up, get your channel together. I received no warning whatsoever from YouTube. I submitted the appeal and I received a decision about an hour later saying that after taking another look, we can confirm that your channel does not violate our community guidelines. Thanks for your patience while we reviewed this appeal. Our goal is to make sure content doesn't violate our community guidelines so that YouTube can be a safe place for all. And sometimes we make mistakes trying to get it right. We're sorry for any frustration our mistakes caused you, and we appreciate you letting us know. They said, to make this right, we've put your channel back on YouTube. If you have any further questions, feel free to reach out to us and yada, yada, yada. So when I got access to the account, I'm starting to look through the account and I'm like, there's something wrong here. I have a variety of videos on my YouTube channel. The podcast goes up there, for example. I also have videos where I am playing games, talking over games, showing gameplay clips, stuff like that. So for example, when Doom the Dark Ages came out, we played Doom the Dark Ages and talked over that and stuff like that. I also have YouTube shorts, which are like 1 to 2 minute videos and they're just short form video clips, usually me talking about a variety of gaming subjects, right? And when I got access to that channel, probably around 9:30 on Friday, I'm going through it and I'm like, there's something missing here. And it seemed like I didn't do the exact numbers. I have about 400 or so videos on my YouTube channel. But it seemed like every, 1 out of every 5 or 6 videos had been removed from YouTube entirely. And that included things like gameplay videos. That included things like the podcast, and that included YouTube shorts. And when you clicked on those individual videos, it said, hey, it's been removed, community guidelines violation, we've removed the video. And there was no option to appeal the individual video. There was no option to resubmit an appeal being like, hey, you gave me back my channel, but you did not give me back my videos. Right? So I thought to myself, well, what the hell am I going to do? So I re-uploaded the most recent video that I had, which was the podcast, last week's podcast. So I re-uploaded that back up to YouTube. And I thought to myself, well, this sucks. This really, puts a damper on my channel because now I've lost, 1 out of every 5 or 6 videos for community guideline violations. And there was no way to appeal those videos on a video by video basis. So I was like, well, at least I have access to my channel back. That's awesome. Like I recognize that I am an incredibly small creator, very, very small creator, very, very small viewership and all of that stuff. Like I'm not here saying like, woe is me, I'm so big or whatever. Like I recognize the small nature of my channel and that small channels can be just as problematic as bigger channels when it comes to the potential to violate a community guideline on YouTube. I recognize that. No arguments from me. So I re-uploaded the most recent video and I went to bed. And when I woke up in the morning, all of the videos that had been taken down had been brought back to YouTube, which I found very frustrating. Not because they had taken them down in the first place, but because there was no notification that like, hey, we have you access to your channel, but stuff's going to come back over a period of time. Like there was no notification about that. So I can't quite tell you how we got here, but what I suspect might have happened was that the only human being that looked at, my understanding is the only human being that looked at my appeal, my channel getting taken down was when I submitted the appeal. So either the YouTube algorithm, backend AI, whatever, started to flag my videos, or other people were submitting community guideline violation requests saying, hey, this channel is violating community guidelines for XYZ purposes, so on and so forth. And maybe they did it as spam or scam because they don't like the content I produce. Maybe they don't like my opinion. I don't know. I'm not here. Please understand, I'm not here to try to make myself out to be some sort of horrible victim in all of this. The channel is back. I'm doing what I'm doing. Away we go. But I cannot quite tell you how I got here. I can make some assumptions. I can infer that either something triggered the YouTube community guidelines algorithm that flagged me in a variety of my videos, or some number of people were out to get this channel taken down for XYZ reasons. I really can't tell you. What I can tell you is that if you're looking to support this channel, please make sure to subscribe to it on YouTube. Please, please, please subscribe on YouTube. The bigger the channel is, the more support a channel like mine even can receive from YouTube in case something like this happens again, right? So please, please, please subscribe on YouTube if you haven't done so already. I will probably not have as many. One thing I'm going to be a little more safe about is calls to actions. I may not always just to keep myself safe, I may not always shout out the various places that you can have that you can see my content, in fear that YouTube thinks that, oh, by mentioning, a link tree or whatever, that, you can do all of that stuff. So I want to be very careful about that going forward. But again, other videos where I don't mention any of that stuff got taken down, so I don't even know how to prevent this from happening again, which is something I'd very much want to do. I want to prevent this from happening again, but we shall see. Very crazy, very stressful. And honestly, I got to say, I'm not trying to be a big baby about this, but it was incredibly disheartening to see that, again, not the biggest YouTube channel in the world, very humble, very small. I tried my best to be a good gaming channel when it comes to talking about video games, and showcasing games and all that stuff. But it was very upsetting to see that all go away in an instant without a lot of guidance as to what the next steps are supposed to be, and how I could have prevented it, and what the future holds, and all of that stuff. So please go ahead, subscribe on YouTube if you haven't done so already. The bigger the channel, the more support I can receive from YouTube if something like that happens again, and we can work together to make sure that the GnittWitt channel is strong, vascular, girthy for years and years to come. We are going to take our first break. When we come back, we got news. Stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to the podcast. Nintendo, everyone's favorite video game company, Nintendo, held their biggest Nintendo Direct in a while, and we are here to talk about everything that they had to show. Now, I will say right here, right now, I did not love it. It was okay. It was okay. It's better than some of the, gaming press conferences and stuff like that I've seen. There is plenty to be excited about. I just don't know. It's snare where a lot of the stuff that I found exciting is kind of on a wait and see approach. So, or in some cases, games I've already played and XYZ. So what we'll do is we'll kind of give a rundown of a variety of the stuff that Nintendo had to show. I'm getting this courtesy of Video Games Chronicles. As always, shout out to Video Games Chronicles. The second Super Mario movie has a name, and it is called the Super Mario Galaxy movie. I don't quite know if this is going to be a direct tie-in to the Super Mario Galaxy games, or if it's just going to be the next sequel in the Mario movie, and it's happens to have Galaxy in the title. The logo looks exactly like the Super Mario Galaxy games logo, so it remains to be seen. Super Mario Galaxy, if you don't know, is I think Mario's in outer space for that game. He's kind of traveling to different planets. It's all that stuff. But anyways, it finally has a title. There was a teaser trailer. I thought that first Mario movie was okay. I never went back and like rewatched it or anything, but I thought it was okay. Do I need a second Mario movie in my life? Probably not. Will I see this movie? Probably. I just hope it's better than the first one, which was an okay. Again, it was fine. Like, I get, like, if you thought it was amazing, you were probably a child when you watched that movie. If you thought it was a horrible, like, cringy piece of crap, I could see where you were coming from, I guess. But I thought it was okay. And hopefully that new movie is better than okay, but we'll find out. Speaking of Mario Galaxy and Mario Galaxy 2 will be released on Switch in October. You can buy them separately or bundled if you would like. They also announced a new Mario tennis game called Tennis Fever. That's going to be out next year. You know, I think the last Mario tennis game was okay. It was a little lacking when it comes to some of the content, which is something that frequently happens with Mario sports games. I feel like they'll put out a Mario sports game and the fundamentals will be there, the controls will be there, like the gameplay is solid, but the actual modes and stuff that you can do in those games is often pretty limiting. So I'm curious to see if Mario Tennis Fever brings it in the form of a good, career mode and side modes and all of that other stuff. It looks neat, but the other Mario Tennis game looked neat, and that game was just okay. I will say up at the top, I have never played a Mario Galaxy game, so it could be a scenario where that ends up being an exciting game for me to play this year, but I'm not too sure. Super Mario Bros. Wonder is getting a Switch 2 edition. It's also going to include new content called Meetup at Bella Bell Park. Did they say exactly what is going to be included? The new main feature is that content update, a new area which features a number of new multiplayer party modes in both competitive and co-op. Nintendo says more new content will be confirmed in the future. So there is that to look forward to. Please look forward to Super Mario Bros. Wonder Nintendo Switch 2 edition. That's going to be coming out in the spring. A brand new Yoshi game called Yoshi and the Mysterious Book is coming next year. I think it's got a really gorgeous art style, but like with every Yoshi game, that gameplay looks incredibly boring. Square Enix has confirmed the release date for Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 1, also known as Intergrade. It is going to be coming to Switch 2 next year. That is January 22nd, to be specific. They also said that the remake, Rebirth, and the third game will all be coming out on other consoles in the future as well. I'm going to save the weirdest one for last, so we're going to skip it. And they confirmed that Nintendo has a release date for Metroid Prime 4. So Nintendo confirmed Metroid Prime 4's release date as part of this new Nintendo Direct. And the release date for Metroid Prime 4 is December 4th. That is the release date. A little late for this game to be coming out. You know, usually you want to get a game out before December, especially when it comes to Game of the Year consideration and stuff like that. Like that's what happened with Indiana Jones last year, is it was not considered for Game of the Year at the Game Awards because of the release date for it. I don't know if that's going to happen with Metroid Prime 4 as well, but Metroid Prime 4 Beyond is finally coming out, and that is going to be December 4th. Donkey Kong Bonanza got paid DLC called Donkey Kong Isle, and it is out now. That was something that was announced as part of a, hey, and it's out now, you can play it sort of thing. Capcom known for Resident Evil, and Resident Evil is going to be known as the thing that you can play on the Switch 2. Resident Evil 7, Village, and Requiem are coming to the Nintendo Switch 2 on the same day next year, February 27th, 2026. There is a new Pokemon spin-off game called Pokemon Pokopia, which is coming out courtesy of Koei Tecmo. They announced the next game in the Fire Emblem series, Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave. Pokemon Legends ZA is already getting DLC, even though the game isn't out yet, and it will feature Mega Raichu. They confirmed Hades 2 will be released on September 25th. A remake of Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly is coming next year. Storm Lancers, a 2D side-scrolling roguelike inspired by 80s sci-fi anime, is out on Switch now. 4-player life sim Dinkum is coming out November 5th. Poppycom, a co-op adventure game set on a mysterious planet, is out holiday 2025. Tomodachi Life: Living the Dreams release window has been narrowed to spring 2026. Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection is getting a digital release on Switch October 30th. Linked Banner of the Spark is a part roguelike, part life sim, and it is out today on Switch and Switch 2. I was actually out at the time of the event. There will be a new series of amiibo released for Kirby Air Riders. Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment will be released on November 6th. A remake of Dragon Quest VII, which will be called Dragon Quest VII Reimagined, is coming out February 5th. The Switch 2 editions of One Piece Pirate Warriors, Overcooked, Stardew Valley, Human Fall Flat, and Power Wash Simulator 2 are on the way. A new Suika game called Suika Game Planet is coming out in the wintertime. Danganronpa 2 is coming out next year as Danganronpa 2x2, 2x2. Dynasty Warriors Origins is coming to Switch 2 on January 22nd. And Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection will be released on Switch 2 March 23rd, 2026. That's pretty much everything at the Nintendo Direct. I gotta be honest, like, I would be curious to check out the Super Mario Galaxy games. I am looking forward to eventually playing Mario Brothers Wonder, although I guess I could play it right now. And I am also, excited to play Hades 2 at some point in time. I gotta be honest, as someone who's finished Donkey Kong Bonanza, I don't think I'm itching to play more Donkey Kong Bonanza, but if you wanted to play more Donkey Kong Bonanza, you can as part of the DLC. But wait, GnittWitt almost forgot. The other thing shown at the Nintendo Direct, they're bringing back the Virtual Boy. If you don't know what the Virtual Boy is, the Virtual Boy was a virtual reality headset produced by Nintendo in 1995. It was one of Nintendo's biggest commercial failures. This thing bombed. It was a piece of garbage. But fear not, Nintendo is bringing it back in the form of a piece of plastic that you can slide your Nintendo Switch 2 console into and then wear the console like a headset. Or if you don't want the plastic, you can get the cardboard version of that very same headset. So Nintendo brings back this Virtual Boy, this a replica of a failed virtual reality headset that they had years and years ago. And I have seen some people kind of in an uproar about it, and I don't understand why. So when you have a company kind of as unique and with a strong sense of personality and style as Nintendo, some people really want to see Nintendo kind of buck the trends of the gaming landscape and go their own path, do their own thing. Effectively, I see a lot of people always asking for Nintendo to get weird, wild, and wacky. I don't know what's more weird, wild, and wacky than bringing back the Virtual Boy, and I don't get what people were expecting from this, right? Nintendo is a company. They are there to make money. So if they decide that they're going to bring back the Virtual Boy, you're probably going to need to pay in order to relive the glory days of the Virtual Boy. And you will. If you want the plastic headset, it is going to be $100 for the accessory. If you want the cardboard model, it's going to be $25. And again, you still have to slide your Nintendo Switch into the headset in order to see, and then probably use the Joy-Cons for gameplay. That's weird. Do I want it? No. Do I really want to pay upwards of $100 to play the Virtual Boy games? Absolutely not. The other thing that people are up in arms about was that you cannot buy the individual games. You have to subscribe to the online subscription service in order to play the games. You cannot buy them separately. And that's totally fine, because honestly, you buy those games and you're going to forget about them in like 6 minutes anyways, considering this thing was wildly regarded as a failure. So to be honest, I think Nintendo is doing everybody a favor by not allowing them to buy them in the first place, because unless you care very, very deeply about game preservation and physical media collections of all of that stuff, this thing is going to collect dust sooner rather than later, shortly after you buy it. That being said, if you really wanted to care about the Virtual Boy experience, you would probably go and actually buy a real Virtual Boy, used or brand new from wherever, online, eBay, whatever. So again, I just don't understand why people want Nintendo to be weird and wacky, but only in their very strict, limited definitions of Nintendo being weird and wacky. I am all for this thing. I am also 100% not the target audience for this thing. So who am I to get mad about the existence of the Virtual Boy and how Nintendo wants to sell it? But not to be outdone by Nintendo, Acclaim made its return to gaming by announcing 9 new games. Now, I will say for the record, I don't know if all of these games are actually brand new or not already out. I believe there were some rumors that one of the games shown off at this thing was already out. And in fact, it is already out. Okay, this is a weird thing for Acclaim to do, but one of the games that they announced has been out since 2019. Make that make sense. Anyways, here's a list of games that they showed off. Toss Down, which is a game in which you deliver packages in a world where everything is out to kill you, escape wild hazards and enemies, fight back using wacky power-ups, and choose from a variety of perks to improve your chances of survival. A top-down kind of action driving around game coming to PC and consoles to be announced. I will say up at the top, no Jeff Jarrett at this. There was no human person at all that we saw at this event. It was a YouTube video that they put up for people to watch the Play Acclaim showcase. All indie titles, and I did not see Jeff Jarrett whatsoever. Ground Zero Hero is an action roguelike with light survival elements set in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. Battle mutated freaks, absorb their radioactive guts, mutate yourself to gain new powers, and eat a lot of candy. I believe Ground Zero Hero was the Vampire Survivors ass-looking game. Basketball Classics. This is the game that has been out since December 18th of 2019, at least on Steam. Basketball Classics is a 5-on-5 pro basketball, 5-on-5 pro basketball born from the golden era of sports games. This spiritual successor to the 8-bit ballers bridges the gap between retro and today's simulation games. Side-scrolling arcade action is paired with on-the-fly strategy. 3-button gameplay is easy to pick up, but it's the dynamic play calling that elevates this title beyond just long bombs and acrobatics. So this is like an old school basketball game, think NBA Jam sort of thing. I don't know how great this game is. I had never heard of it until they did the showcase, but you can play it now on PC if you want to. Pixel Washer is a top-down shooter in which you are power washing things. It's kind of like Power Wash Simulator, but not quite Power Wash Simulator. They also showed off The Prisoning Fletcher's Quest, a side-scrolling action-adventure game with Metroidvania style elements to it. No release date for that. And for Basketball Classics, again, out now on PC, coming soon to Nintendo Switch. I don't think there is a single game that actually had a release date that wasn't already out on PC. Very strange the way they did that. They also showed off Gridbeat, Talaka, Hyper Yuki Snowboard Syndicate, which is an arcade style action snowboarding racing game. I think that looks really cool. That's coming to PC and consoles. Katana Knot is out now. It is a fast-paced Metroidvania inspired action roguelike, blending fluid combat and cosmic horror / dodge and wield powerful abilities as you battle through a station sprawling with twisted, once human horrors. None of these surprised me. None of these games really blew me away, but none of these surprised me. Like, I'm not sitting here being like, oh, I can't believe that Acclaimed had this and this and this to show. This is exactly what a new indie publisher would have to show. Now, I recognize that Acclaim is not the brand new indie publisher that some people imagine them to be, but this is a new company with an old name. And a new indie publisher will probably do exactly what Acclaim is doing. So I wish them all the best of luck, and maybe they'll have a game that really catches fire when those games eventually come out. Speaking of catching fire, when a game eventually comes out, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. We have an update on the DLC controversy. They have confirmed that the clans that were going to be part of the DLC, the paid DLC, will be added to the base game after everybody got their refunds. They also confirmed that it'll be 6 playable clans in the game. If you buy the deluxe expansion, you will get a cosmetic pack for that. And if you buy the premium edition of the game, you will get the cosmetic pack as well as 2 story DLC packs, Loose Cannon and the Flower and the Flame. I still don't have a lot of high hopes for Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, but if you're excited about the game, which is coming out in October, there is a chance that with the 2 additional playable clans, that game might be better than it would have been had it shipped in the state it was going to. Skate is out now. Skate is out now for everybody to play, and it currently has a mixed Steam review score. And I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so. The game that I said isn't very good, turns out, is not very good. Now, you might sit here and say, well, I like it. Well, I think it has potential. And that's fine. That's fantastic. More power to you. I would much rather you hear about the existence of a skate game and play it for yourself and be like, I actually like it. I'm fine with you liking a game that I don't like. Whatever. It's fine. But reviews for Skate are starting to roll out from user experiences, and they have not been amazing. I'm getting this from IGN. One of the reviewers on Steam said, if you're looking for a true successor to Skate 1, 2, and 3, this isn't it. Aside from the controls, every other gameplay element from the previous titles has been stripped away. No Hall of Meat, no game of Skate, no missions or storylines with real-life pro skaters. In their absence, we got a soulless cash grab with a fully functional cash shop inside of a 7 gigabyte beta. I can't believe I waited years for this. Another reviewer wrote, online only slop with day one server issues, same challenges over and over for rip-off chips for a spin on the loot box casino with frankly terrible cosmetics. None of the game modes that made the game none of the game modes that made the previous games fun. No skate, no death races, own the spot career or Hall of Meat. The art style is not what the devs promised in earlier playtest builds. Character creation and customization is abysmal. That's pretty much how I would I feel like that's kind of what I've been saying for a while now. That isn't too far from my opinion on the game, but for those that are enjoying it, more power to you. But I feel like we are better off pretending that this game never happened. Let's do one more news story here for the first bit of news. Assassin's Creed Black Flag is getting a remake and reportedly adding extra content to the game, such as RPG mechanics, and is aiming for a March release. Though Ubisoft has still hasn't confirmed that the remake exists. But my understanding is that they are going to be adding more RPG elements similar to other recent Assassin's Creed games in terms of the inventory and the loot systems and the combat. It's also claimed that Ubisoft plans to remove loading times to enable players to sail to each location in one unbroken sequence, something that was already possible in Assassin's Creed Odyssey. They'll also add more content to the smaller islands on the map, which the game originally usually only contained like a treasure chest or two. That is the plan. There are also rumors that they're going to remove all of the modern day storyline from it, and it's mostly going to be about Edward Conway doing pirate Assassin's Creed business as a pirate assassin want to do. To be honest, I would be willing to go back and give this game another try. I did not love Assassin's Creed Odyssey when it originally came out. I also really don't care about the modern day storytelling of Assassin's Creed. So if they want to remove that stuff, I say go for it. I would probably enjoy that better without it. But we're still waiting for Ubisoft to actually confirm if this game is even happening or not. But it's reported that Ubisoft Singapore are the folks working on the game. We're going to take our first break. When we come back, we got more news. Stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the podcast. Let's talk about Palworld. Palworld is supposed to be leaving early access in 2026 with a massive update planned for its version 1.0 release date. Not heard a lot about Palworld in a while. I know they're, currently being sued by Nintendo and all this other crazy stuff, but word on the street is that, development of Palworld is not scaling back, and that Palworld 1.0 will be a major milestone for the game, with a massive amount of content planned for that update. But they have been relatively quiet on development fronts because 1.0 is supposed to be a big deal for them. And I have not played Palworld in a long time. I've not thought about Palworld in a long time, but I'd be willing to give that game another shot when it comes out in 1.0. No actual release date just yet, but 2026 is the plan. Speaking of plans, Insomniac's Wolverine is reportedly coming next year, followed by a Venom video game spin-off. Marvel's Wolverine was announced back in 2021 with a release date of 2026. They also said that the Venom spin-off game is very early in development. These are quick ones. I don't have, what am I going to say? Oh, Wolverine game. I don't know anything about it. You don't know anything about it. One thing I do know is that the BAFTA Games in Concert series is going on tour, featuring 20 years of BAFTA-nominated video games music. The first BAFTA Games in Concert will take place in London in January. Now, I got to say, I have never been to one of these video game orchestra symphony concert things. I would like to. I would consider it. There was one that came here to my neck of the woods not that long ago, and I looked at the list of games and I said, I don't really care about any of these games. But if someone wants to play some Final Fantasy music, some Metal Gear music or whatever, some Mass Effect music, some Fallout music, some whatever music, I would be down. It is being done by composer and conductor Austin Wintory, who said it's often stated how solitary composing can be, so it's an utterly thrilling opportunity to gather a big orchestra together, a gaggle of amazing composers in the audience for whom all it's made. I feel honored to have been asked to help put together and also conduct this concert celebrating the immense spectrum of games music, which has passed through the BAFTA halls the last couple of decades. So they're going to do their first show at London's Royal Festival Hall on Saturday, January 31st. Tickets are on sale now. They will announce a world tour and a UK tour soon. Ubisoft has confirmed that Far Cry will feature a more predominantly push for multiplayer in the future. Something that completely unsells me on the idea of the future of Far Cry, though to be honest, I've not been excited about the present of Far Cry for a while, and now the future doesn't seem much more exciting, with them being further emphasizing multiplayer in the game. According to Yves Guillemot, Far Cry is the goal on Far Cry is really to bring the multiplayer aspects more predominantly pushed so that it can be also played for a long time by players. The exec's comments potentially corroborate a press report from 2023, which claimed Ubisoft was developing Far Cry 7 and a standalone Far Cry multiplayer game. It was claimed at the time that Far Cry 7 was being made on Ubisoft's Snowdrop engine rather than the Dunia engine used for recent series entries. The multiplayer game was described as an extraction-based shooter set in the Alaskan wilderness. Far Cry 6, which was released in 2021, included online campaign co-op, but didn't have a competitive multiplayer component. I did not love Far Cry 6. I didn't play a lot of it, but I didn't love it. I don't know. I just think it's weird. Like, what? I've asked this so many times. What the hell's going on at Ubisoft? They're going to remake Assassin's Creed games. They're going to make new Assassin's Creed games, and they're just going to fuck around with the Far Cry formula until there's nothing left. And maybe Rayman will be there somehow. I don't know. Final news story. Battlefield 6's Battle Royale mode has been revealed with 100 players and destruction everywhere. EA will begin closed testing of Battlefield 6's Battle Royale this week. They're calling it the deadliest ring in Battle Royale. With urgent warnings as the fire approaches, soldiers will be pushed into more intense firefights as the game space continues to shrink. There's no jumping in and out of it, no using it for cover, no walking through it. If you get caught in it, you are done. In Battlefield 6's Battle Royale mode, players will not be able to change their class after the match has begun. As players earn experience, they will level up and gain access to new traits that enhance their chosen class. For example, the assault class can become faster at equipping armor. Throughout each match, players will explore the map, complete missions, and battle for loot, including 5 tiers of weapons and attachments, throwables, gadgets, strike packages, armor, upgrade kits, and custom drops of favorited weapons. You know, this is supposed to be the free-to-play mode that is going to be launching alongside Battlefield 6. Battlefield 6 is going to have the single-player story mode. It's going to have the multiplayer mode, which I played earlier this year, and will have a free-to-play Battle Royale mode. I am not a big Battle Royale guy, but I imagine that everyone will get a chance to play it when that game comes out October 10th. We have to take another break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about the games that I've been playing. Stick around. We'll be right back. And we're back for our final segment where we talk about the games that I have been playing. So, as I mentioned at the top of the show, I was playing Donkey Kong Bonanza the day I received an email saying that my YouTube channel was being removed. But that didn't stop me from finishing Donkey Kong Bonanza. I am done the game, and I will say this up at the top. When you finish the game, they do give you additional challenges and stuff that you can do after the game is over. But I did play through the story. I have seen credits for the game. So let's talk about it. I think Donkey Kong Bonanza is pretty good, but it does overstay its welcome. I feel like some of the levels towards the end of the game do a couple of things. One, I think they get in the way of the gameplay that you've experienced so far. It's a game very focused on destruction and making your own paths and blowing stuff up and breaking stuff and all that stuff. And then towards the end of the game, they kind of ask you to do a lot of precision jumping and movement, something that I felt was pretty out of left field for what the game had, allowed me to experience up until that point. So I was like, oh, weird. Now I need to like take this kind of seriously and jump and time my movements and all of this stuff. I felt that was pretty weird. I also felt like some of the later levels are not as well designed as earlier levels. I think navigating some of the environments, even when they're not asking you for precision platforming and jumping, can be a little bit of a pain. It's a little bit tedious. I just feel like that game does lose a little bit of steam towards the end. You could argue that they, kind of save themselves by having this post-game content. The post-game content is about you talking to the elder DJs, they're old animals that were disc jockeys and very funky, groovy people at one point in their life, and have now become these like elder gods. So there's like, oh, this elder god is a gorilla, and he used to spin these crazy, songs and all of this stuff. And basically, you revisit them and prove to them that you've collected enough of these bananas, and they'll give you new challenges that you can do where you can unlock more bananas and stuff like that. So you could argue that by getting through the story, you kind of get to the real meat of the game, which is just going back and finding the rest of the collectible bananas and fossils and stuff that you haven't done already. Which I think if I had played through that game a lot faster, I would have felt better about going back and, cleaning up the collectibles that I hadn't found, because, I don't restart the game. I have all of my powers and abilities and all of that stuff ready to go when I, go back to the game, right? It's not a scenario where I'm replaying story cutscenes and stuff like that. So in that sense, like if you played through the game a lot faster than maybe I did, you maybe would have been more game and ready to keep going. But for me, I was like, you know what? Like, I think I'm okay. Like I really liked Donkey Kong Bonanza. I enjoyed my time with it. I'm glad I played it. Don't get me wrong, but I was just a tad burnt out by the time it was done. Still one of my favorite games from this year, don't get me wrong, but I don't think I could refer to this as some game of the year, scenario where I was pretty burnt out. Well, not pretty burnt out. That's strong. I was kind of burnt out by the time I was done the game. I don't know if that counts as game of the year contender in a scenario where I was like, yeah, I'm done. Thanks. Thank you for your time, Donkey Kong. It was a pleasure. Oh, banana. That being said, the gameplay for the most part is phenomenal. It's probably still the best playing game that I experienced this year. The simple act of, digging through the tunnel by, throwing rocks and dirt and punching the ground and tunneling and breaking stuff, like all of that gameplay feels just as good, if not better, hour 1 as it did hour 30 for me. Like the destruction in Donkey Kong Bonanza truly is like second to none in my humble opinion, and one of the most playful experiences that I have had with a Nintendo game in a while. It's just, I think some of the structure, some of the level design and things like that kind of wear itself thin before the game is actually over. But overall, really enjoyed my time with Donkey Kong Bonanza. One of my favorite games of the year, regardless of how I feel about the way that game kind of wraps things up towards the end. Speaking of wrapping things up towards the end, I really need to wrap up my time with House of Ashes. Still playing through that. I am very, very close to the end. I lost somebody. I'm down one I cheated. I did cheat at one point. I lost somebody, and then I cheated and I redid that mission, or that chapter. So I saved that person, but then I lost somebody else, and I'm going to commit to losing that person because I do feel like it feels more evocative of the story that I've experienced up to the point to be like, yeah, this person it was probably their time. We made mistakes, and I get it, and they got to go. So they went. But I'm enjoying that, and I will maybe start picking at the quarry closer to October as part of a game for me to play during Halloween time, but I haven't done so yet. And I have not actually picked up Skate since it came out in early access for the public to play. I don't think I have, but look, people want to tell me, oh, it's a great game. You're wrong. You're this, you're that, nitwit. That's fine. They can say whatever they want. I will say that I don't have the patience to give this game the benefit of the doubt. I truly don't want to treat this game like it's a charity. If this game ends up being good, 6 months from now, 6 years from now, well, then great. I was wrong. But as of right now, I don't think Skate is worth your time. I don't think it's worth playing. So for that reason, that's a game that I will not be playing in the near future. I'm also going to try to finish up Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. I got back into playing, with the Borderlands 4 release, and that game kind of being a bit of a hot mess. I have considered the idea of going back and finishing up Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. I am very close to the end of Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, so there's a possibility that next time we sit down for the podcast, I will be done at Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, as well as House of Ashes. I still need to figure out what are the next big games that I plan on playing, what's coming out on Game Pass, what's coming out on other releases, Nintendo and stuff like that. But as of right now, I do not have anything, seriously kind of rattling around in my mind, especially ever since I dropped Hollow Knight Silksong, which is just, that game is not for me. That game is not, I'm going to probably make a video talking about how I just don't understand that game, but I don't understand what makes that game so damn popular. Looking forward to The Outer Worlds 2, though. Tell you that. Looking forward to that. That game should be very, very good whenever that comes out. I think that's going to end up doing it for the podcast. Might end up being a bit of a shorter one as a result, but there is only so much to talk about. Games are coming out. We just need to play the games that are coming out. That is really all there is to it. Play the games that are coming out, enjoy the games that are coming out, and maybe there'll be more news stories next week. But as of right now, that is going to do it for the podcast. I have been GnittWitt. You can find everything that I do over at my Linktree. That is linktree.com/GnittWitt. GnittWitt, Twitch, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, all those convenient places. But make sure to subscribe to YouTube. Please do that. Subscribe to YouTube. Support the YouTube channel. Support me. We'll see you all next week. Take it easy.